bits and parts, because only we can understand a human being sorry, when we take him as a whole. If you only focus at his fingers or his eyes or his lips or his ears, it will not help you to understand that person spiritually. Yes, you may understand him mechanically. You see, for an author, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, a nose means nothing. But when you put them together, then he understands him as a man or as a flower. So, the difference between an artist and other human being is that an artist takes into account the inspiration and the impression which that particular object produces upon him. Therefore, it is understood that a student of literature should focus upon the impression which the words produce, and not only on mere words. Poetry becomes poetry only when you understand the spirit of those words which have been used to produce that particular poem or prose. Therefore, we believe that you become an artist only when your soul is moved by the object you see, positively or negatively. If you remain placid, then you never become an artist. So, my dear students, during analyzing history, we will see how different factors of history formed and developed different great authors and writers.
Assalamualaikum, sir. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, but I think I have the right answer.
Sure.
Sir, Seema Obed. Sir, how are you?
I'm good.
Sir, मुलाकात कब होता है एक टाइम तक? You continue your class. Continue your class.
So, sorry for the disturbance. Now, we were talking about how should literature be studied. You see, when we go through any article, which is related to politics or any subject other than literature, we only look at it objectively. But when we are studying anything as a student of literature, we do not only look at that, look at that piece of art objectively, but also spiritually. Because anything that you watch definitely moves you either negatively or positively. But there are persons who remain unmoved apparently. But perhaps they don't have the ability or sensitivity to understand that whether they have been moved or not. An artist has this ability to explain to that particular person that yes, you are impressed, you are moved. And poets especially have this quality in excess to other qualities. Now, while I talk about history of English literature, so I advise you that don't look at words, don't just look at different factors of history as a story, but try to understand why that particular event occurred. Analyze the factors and then match those factors with your present life and see whether you are going through the same or your situation is different. Our inability to connect ourselves with the spiritual world out of the material world is very weak. We have become very, very objective and we call ourselves to be scientific. But actually, in my opinion, unless you are able to put together the objective and the spiritual, you fail to understand the life or the truth of life. Therefore, students, when you study history, and especially history of English literature, do not study factors, or do not rather read factors, rather study them, analyze them, and then try to match them with your present life. Because life as a whole is one. Even today, if I go and live in the middle age, my responses may be different, but the impact upon me will be the same. Because I respond to life according to the ability of response that I possess. You cannot force, as a human being, you cannot force others to feel as you as you feel. Sorry. But an artist has got the ability to make you feel how he feels.
We have to wind up the lecture within 5 minutes, then we will give them 10 minutes for asking questions.
So, it is this particular ability in an artist that makes him small or great. If your ability to make others feel how you feel is very strong, then definitely you are a successful artist. That means you have the ability to peep into their mind as well as into their hearts. So only those artists are great who are able to find the creeks through which they can peep into others. Thank you very much.
Sir, now we may say that we have to allow them to ask questions if they want to
Sure.
ask. So you may say them, if anybody has a question, raise your hand, we will hand them mic on.
Yes, students, if you have got any questions or anything that you have not understood during the lecture, so you can raise your hands and ask questions.
No one is raising their hands.
Maybe.
If they want to ask anything related to semester, or want to talk, want to discuss.
Yes, if you want to talk, you want to discuss anything, you are most welcome.
Let me send a message in chat as well. Let me send a message.
Sir, sir, can you hear me?
Asad's mic is on. Asad.
Hello, Asad.
Yes, sir.
How
Can
are
you hear
you?
me? Sir, fine, very well. What about you?
I can't hear you, Asad.
You can't hear me, sir. Sir, I have unmute myself,
Hello.
so can you hear me?
The problem in his connection. Is there anyone other student want to talk?
Does anyone else
Sir, now can you
want
hear
to
me?
talk or ask any question if you have? anything that you couldn't